This is just another video for the record and putting it out there. I see that there's a good chance that people on EBT or SNAP benefits won't get their benefits in November. While my family here in Marianna, Florida, have not been on SNAP for years and years, we did have to use it. There was a time that we relied on SNAP benefits and Medicaid. After we moved down here, we made too much. I did need to keep my son, Thomas, on Medicaid. He was on Medicare and Medicaid because of his disabilities. What happened to make us go through that period? Well, my husband, who was about 55 at the time, was working in a place in South Elgin, Illinois, in a factory. He was the production scheduler and he was a purchasing agent for this peanut butter manufacturing plant. And he became ill, and we found out it was congestive heart failure. So, because of his age, he stayed there about another year or so, but he was laid off because of his age and because he had maxed out his insurance. There were not quite 10, just about 10 other employees who were in that same age group. And the one who was younger was a wheelchair bound young man. And he too had to rely on the insurance that was not free insurance. They were paying for it out of their paycheck. But anyway, this company let a bunch of them go. And the only correlations that could be made through the whole thing were their health benefits that exceeded the max. They were making the premiums that the company had to pay. The multi-millionaire family, by the way, had to pay for their employees. So, like I said, he had congestive heart failure, stage 4 kidney failure. He had TIAs. He had ischemic strokes in his eyes that led to strabismus. He had to have an operation for that. He had all sorts of health problems, and when he would go out for jobs, when he just he never qualified. He was overqualified for some places and underqualified for other places, but mainly it was because of his age at 55. And he even had people say, at your age, you're looking to retire. We want somebody to be here long term. And Andrew pointed out, I still have young children at home. I need to be able to provide for them. But no, he wasn't able to be hired in most places. He did work for about a year doing landscaping. He worked for a long time doing landscaping in one of the park districts. But in those times, he would have been underpaid, underemployed for what we needed to, because those were minimum wage jobs that he was doing. So we weren't able to make it. We had a house, we had mortgage payments, we had 6 children, and we weren't able to make it. I have multiple sclerosis. Now, I know that I could have done a desk job somewhere. This is true. But I also had 2 sons with autism and 1 son with cerebral palsy at home, plus my husband's health. And his lack of being able to find a good job put him into severe depression. I was needed to take care of people at home. And I'm just want this out on the record because, the Indians say it, you don't know somebody's situation unless you walk a mile in their moccasins. And it's so easy for people to judge and to call names. And even today I see it in the media that they're rejoicing that people will not be able to feed people next month, as of next month. Now, anybody in my family knows that we will be okay through this. We will always take care of each other because that's what we do. So I'm not worried for anybody that I'm related to in this situation, but I am worried for so many people that will not be able to feed their children, provide them with a healthy, nutritious diet. The children have to go to bed hungry. They have to go to school hungry, and you can't learn when you're hungry. You can't learn when you're starving. I even had to do papers and things like that when I was going to college for psychology and philosophy. These are the bare minimum things we can do. And I want to point it out further because it was said to me in a reply on TikTok. Well, that's up to the individual to take care of the poor. Well, you're right. That's absolutely true. That is just what Jesus said. But we can't take care of the whole nation of poor. I can't do it on my own. That's where the government comes in. That's where the government comes in with programs, because yes, it is. It is a part of, if you studied civics, if you studied anything about the government, yes, the government does have a duty to make sure that its people are being taken care of, being safe, and being fed and protected, that their health is guarded. All those things come into it. It's not asking that much to just be a decent bunch of people, a decent nation. I mean, we used to be the breadbasket of the world. We used to feed other worlds, and now we can't even feed our own people. Not to mention that we're sending $40 billion to Argentina for some reason when our own people are going without. So I just wanted it on the record. This is what happened in my family, my instance. There was more. I could go on to it. So many horrific things happened to us during that time. But that's what it was. And that's really all it takes for anybody. Unless you're the top 1%, it could be just like that. Something happens to you and you're sick and you're unable to get a job to provide for your family. A law passes, something somewhere, put you into despair. This is what happens. And I just wanted this down for the record. Thanks for listening.